Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I am out in the woods today, and I'm ready to do my first impressions, or to find out my first impressions I should say, because I haven't used it yet. I'm about to, of the Hults Bruk Almike Hatchet. This is a 16-inch hatchet that I just unboxed from Rivers Edge Cutlery the other day, and was that yesterday? 2 days ago? Anyways, just unboxed it, and this is my first time getting out in the woods with it. So, I have not done anything with it other than look like a madman twirling it around in my house because I've been so excited to have it. But comes with this really nice leather mask, has a belt loop on this side, and it's got this nice retention system where this leather strap just kind of holds that in, and bada bing bada boom. So this will be my first time using it out in the wild. This right here is a dead standing aspen. It's all broken off. I confirmed that it's dead. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down, I think. And hopefully the angle will work. I think that's the best place I could figure out to set up. So we're gonna see what happens. But I'm gonna cut some of these twig things off first, and that should hopefully allow me to get a little closer. And then, yeah, we're just gonna see how it does, and I'm sure I'll find some more stuff to chop up out here as well. But we'll start with this. So here we go. So it's holding up a bunch of like just debris behind it. So I think I'm gonna cut it right about here. That way it keeps holding all that stuff in, doesn't cave down in onto me. All right. Oh. Bites in really well. All right. All right, so this is like kind of decaying in the middle there. There's even some termites crawling around and larvae. So not the most hardcore task, but did it pretty easily. So let's find something else to chop. Alright, so this is obviously dead, and I think this is aspen as well. It's just been dead for longer, and it's pretty hard stuff. This looks like somebody sawed it because it was overgrowing the trail right here where this comes through. So I'm just going to kind of hack some pieces off of it and see how this does. But here we go. So this is pretty hard stuff, and this thing just bites in really, really well. It's holding its edge perfectly. It's even like a little bit warm from the friction. Very cool. So Made that pretty easy. Let's find something else. All right. This one is a pretty good candidate because this is a branch that's kind of forked off and is now growing directly over the trail. So I'm gonna go ahead and just remove this branch. Seems like the common etiquette on this trail, if there's a branch that's growing over, to go ahead and just cut it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this branch off. This one is living, so it should be fairly soft, but I'm gonna see how this bites into something like that. So here we go. I'm gonna do this left-handed just because of the angle here. I'm not even swinging hard right now. There we go. So in this spot I really didn't have leverage. There's also this metal pipe that's coming down over the top of it. Oh, I'm in an awkward spot, aren't I? Anyways, with this soft living stuff, even without chopping hard, it's biting in well. I'm impressed so far. So I don't know what else to do. Let's see if I can find a log and split it. That sounds fun. Let's split a log. All right, so this probably isn't the best spot, I'm finding out, to be doing this, because I don't want to cut down living stuff, and there's not a lot of like good logs around to split. They're just, everything is super decayed. I just tried for a few minutes, and it was a fail. I'll probably loop in some of that footage here while I'm talking, but so far, first impressions, honestly, with this guy, it's a lot of fun. A big part of why I picked this and purchased this was just because I wanted to be able to get out and have fun with it. It's a real no-nonsense tool. I think I talked about kind of the same philosophy in my recent tomahawk review with the RMJ hawk that I had, but this one's even more tool-like. Like, this isn't tactical at all. This is like a woodsman's tool, you know? And it's just so much fun to have something like this on your bag or in your bag. Today I hiked in here with it strapped to the outside and it was perfect. It's just the right size and it's capable, you know, like cutting through that branch that was hanging over the trail. Made quick work of it, even without real leverage and being able to really put muscle into it. It just chops well. It just worked. And then even that big dead tree that I chopped the major limb off of, it did great for that as well. Like, it's very capable and it's a lot of fun. And there's something about having something like this with you. It just makes you want to get out into the woods more and use it. So I think what I'm going to do for my full review when it's time is I'll probably do something kind of bushcrafty. There's a spot I have in mind up kind of above some of the waterfalls in here where I'll probably just make kind of like a little day shelter. Maybe I'll make a ridge pole. I'll have to scope out the spot to figure out how it'll work. But I hike with a little tarp in my pack and paracord, obviously, and all that good stuff. So I think what I may do is just, I'm not by any means pro at bushcrafting. In fact, I'm definitely a novice, but I have a lot of fun doing stuff like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll bring this up there and I'll see if I can't just make a nice little day shelter to hang out in. The water should be running up there right now too, so I'll probably just bring like my filtration water bottle and then I can just like spend a whole day hanging out up there if I make that little shelter. But this thing's super fun. It's I'm glad I went with this length. I think for the type of tasks that I have in mind for this, 16 inches is just about right. I know there's slightly shorter ones, and those would probably honestly do the job too, but I like the amount of leverage I get out of this guy. I also like the shape of this handle, the way that it's kind of curved and contoured. It just works really well for me. I'm digging it. I like the natural kind of swell back here, so my hand just kind of locks in into this prime spot. The head is also just kind of the right size. Some tomahawks I've found have really slim heads because they're not designed to do the same things that this is. This is also set up, obviously, to split wood, which didn't really get that great of a run at today, but we will. And so you can see it's got like this taper, but it thickens up, and that's to kind of act as a wedge and drive the wood apart. And it's just fun. It's the 1 pound head, so it's got weight to it, but it's not cumbersome to pack in or to swing. Like, I don't get tired swinging this like I would a full-size axe. It just makes sense. Obviously, I'm not the first person to discover the efficacy of a hatchet. They exist for a reason. But there's something in me that just appreciates tools like this. My favorite book when I was a kid, when I was growing up, was it's a book called Hatchet by Gary Paulson. And it's about this kid, Brian, who I think is flying in Canada in like a little Cessna, like single prop plane. His parents are divorced or something, and he's going to like stay with his dad for a little bit, I think is the premise of the story. Anyways, the like bush pilot that's taking him out to wherever his dad is has a heart attack mid-flight. They crash land. The pilot dies, and then it's just this kid who I don't remember. It's been so long since I've read it. Now I need to reread it, but I don't know, maybe he's like 13 or 14 or something. And right before he left, his mom gave him a hatchet, and he had it like on his belt in the plane because he was excited to have it. And that's all he's like able to make it out of the plane with is his hatchet, and then the clothes on his back. And it's like the story of his survival out in the woods. And I just always like fantasized about being out in the woods with just a hatchet, making it work. Obviously, here I stand today with a backpack full of snacks and water and my nice Sony camera and audio equipment that I'm filming with. I'm not exactly living like Brian and Hatchet, but I think it's fun to, like, I don't know, connect with that part of yourself and just swing an axe at stuff. You know, there's a reason why people have been doing it for a really long time. Obviously, the number one reason is people need to use wood to stay warm, and that's a whole thing. But there's also something, I think, psychologically that happens when you engage with a tool like you can with a hatchet. So this probably doesn't mean all that much. It's probably a little bit of a ramble here at the end. But first impressions of this are really, really good. I'm very happy I went with this one so far. The edge is doing great. I don't have any chips or deformation, anything like that. It just still looks really, really nice. And this is the kind of finish, too, and the kind of tool that's just going to look cooler and feel better the more I use it. And so I'm looking forward to that. I've had a couple people recommend that I put, like, linseed oil on the handle and, like, maybe EDCI on the head or something. But if I get a little corrosion on the head, like, so be it. And I kind of want to just wear in the handle with, like, the sweat from my hands. You know, that I think that'll be cool. So this is just the beginning, but I'll be doing a full review soon. Hopefully I can make that into some kind of a bushcrafty type of video, and it should be a lot of fun. But this is sweet. So I'll have a link down below to Rivers Edge Cutlery, where I got this. I'll have a link to this on their site, and yeah, also to their Instagram and their YouTube and all that. Rivers Edge Cutlery is one of the best in the business. They're just fantastic. I really appreciate those guys over there. They give me a lot of support. So if you're looking for a knife or a hatchet, whatever else it may be, they're pretty good guys to buy from. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.